Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. It started with flower crane, then it was followed up by peony chirps, and then it was followed up by feather maiden. Here is our fourth in our series of white teas made from old tea trees growing in Yunnan that are normally reserved for making raw pu'er tea. I'm sure we can shorten that description a little bit, but I hope that at least it gives you some clarity. This is floating lotus. Here we go, floating lotus. As with our other white tea cakes from the same series, we have taken the classic Chinese paper cut stylings and made a surreal mashup of nature and animal. Here is a lotus flower with a butterfly wings that we're calling floating lotus. I was originally going to call it flying lotus. I was thinking, where did I hear that before? Where did I hear that before? And then I realized, oh yeah, that's that musical artist. I think it was originally on Warp Records back in the day, at least. And so yeah, couldn't call it flying lotus. So it's called floating lotus. So as I said, the sort of brief rundown on this is, imagine tea trees, gushu. This is 150 to 200 years, so we can't quite call it gushu, but it's very old tea trees. And I think that I'm right in saying that these are the oldest tea trees that we have sourced from for this white tea series. And so imagine these old tea trees that are normally used to make raw pu'er tea, and instead the producers are making white tea, which is a bit of a risk because, you know, raw pu'er tea sells at a very high price. It's one of the most renowned teas out there. Sorry, I just noticed that I dropped this on the way to the studio and my tea pet has lost its nose. It's like one of those Egyptian sculptures with their nose chopped off. Sorry, duckling. Anyway, it'll still get some tea. So imagine taking these tea trees that are normally made to use, that are normally used to make raw pu'er tea, and you're making white tea out of them. So a risk because, you know, raw pu'er commands a high price, and therefore, you know, it's better to stick with what you know. But these producers have been producing it, and we are sourcing from the same mountain, Nanwo. Nanwo seems to be the village area that is the most, you know, up for making white teas, and they make some stellar white teas that are very different from the white teas from other places like Guangxi and Fujian, etc. Just has that rich Yunnanese character. So here we go, floating lotus, 150 to 200-year-old tea trees. 2023, let's quickly, what am I doing? Put this back, open it up, focus, done. So let's quickly scope this tea. Season, April, oh, the smell coming off these leaves. April 2023, cultivar Daejong variety, 150 to 200-year-old tea trees. Then you've got the origin is from Nanwo, Yunnan, China, budding up to 3 to 4 leaves, as you can see. A big mix here of buds and smaller leaves and larger leaves. And the elevation is around 1,400 meters. I love the color of these white teas. It's like full spectrum from your, you know, pale silvery buds, sage large green leaves, the more plummy, chestnutty, auburn colors, and some oranges as well in there. Lovely, like 5 color tones and lots of textures. Just a very pretty looking cake if you are so inclined to love your white teas. Right, let's, what am I doing? I'm not quite with it today, I tell you. All right, here we go. Break into this, get a nice hefty chunk. With white teas, I'm really not worried about breaking the leaves, especially those larger leaves. I reckon that's a good amount. Put that to the side. We got our cake Another cake here so we can look at that wrapper. I'm brewing in a Gai 1, a new Gai 1. I don't know if this is going to be in stock when this video comes out. Might be. Not really planned it out. Don't know when this video is being released, but I love it. A new Gai 1. Finally, we've got a new Gai 1. We've been testing Gai 1s for ages. I was going to say years, and I think it is actually years, to try and find ones. I like to get some more porcelain Gai 1s with the white inside and a glaze on the outside. I just didn't like a lot of the glazes. This is from Yunnan, the capital of fine porcelain in China. If you haven't seen our video visiting Yunnan, then go check it out. Let's see how much we've got in here. Yeah. No. I was going to say that I would have a very generous session, but there are limits, even for me. Okay. Here we go. Tidy this up a little bit. Smell of floating lotus. And I can already smell that these dry leaves are rich, sweet. A lovely combination of the very sweet malted milks, honeys. Yeah, honey and milk, sweet comfort, and then this beautiful bracing notes to it as well. So let's talk about the sweet and creamy. Malted milk, honey, white chocolate, white rabbit candies. Floral, definitely got floral. Hard. White flowers, little bit refreshing but still sweet. Frangipane, magnolia, that sort of quality. So a little bit, not lemony, but a little bit pomelo-y. And some dried mint. A waft up your nose that I would defy anybody to not enjoy. Sweet and honeyed and flowery and fruity and refreshing and wow. Luscious. Right, the duckling with no nose. Here you go. Apologies for desecrating you in this way. Here we go. Smell of wet leaf. Oh, I want to live in this fog. Oh. Okay, I'm going to say something that I say oftentimes when I smell white teas that are sweet, that it just reminds me of very sweet black tea. White tea is moving more into the character of black tea, but for some reason it seems to smell more like a sweet black tea than black tea does to me anyway. I'm getting the warm milk. I'm getting some marzipan, a touch of a sort of biscuity note, vanilla-y note, coconut. I'm getting some coconut cream. I'm getting some very simple like vanilla wafers. Those wafer sandwiches, wafer, a little bit of vanilla cream, wafer. Maybe throw a bit of coconut in there. Ooh. There's a slight bright fruity note that I associate with tomato vines. So not the actual tomato, just the smell of the green vine. I would even say it's moving slightly towards I'll say blueberries. So in that fruity, but with a little, fruity and sweet, but with a little piquancy. So blueberries, tomato vine, vanilla coconut wafers. Just very, very rich in aromatics. Right, I'm brewing this at 95, it's at 89, so let's pour this away. These covers may look quite simple, these one color covers, but I tell you, it is one of those artworks that is very difficult to get right. We try so many different mashups and we reject so many of them, but it's very hard to find that right balance where it looks not so bizarre that it feels like completely just doesn't work for the eye. It's got to have a balance to it. It needs to look sort of right, but at the same time be this sort of strange combination. And then obviously making it in a paper cut style is a challenge as well. Okay, look at these leaves. They're very sort of, I just want to pour water over them. They just are asking to be drenched. Okay. Sorry, I'm like that. Let's see how this brews up. I'm always unafraid with white teas. You can brew long with these white teas. But obviously we want to taste it in a time-lapse fashion. So we don't want to like get everything out in the first infusion. You could, if you wanted, put this through a filter because, you know, you saw I was breaking it up, so there's going to be broken leaves in it, but I'm not too bothered about that. Color. Dusky sunset orange. Cheers, everybody. Floating Lotus. Texture is thick, soft, but then there is definitely, I would say, soft to light, sort of mineral dry quality. So soft to mineral dry, but that dryness is like a very light coating on the mouth, which then dissipates to quite a big juiciness actually. Yeah, thick, soft. Taste is warm milk, honey, dried mint. Said all that before. But it's there really. So if you imagine you take a nice like warm milk, you drizzle in a really good like heather honey, but you've maybe brewed that with a sprinkling of dried mint, that milk, you've heated it, and then you filter out and you get this sort of minty, milky honey quality. Melon milk, so moving a little bit more fruity. A touch of cassis, blackcurrant. A touch. I think Celine likes that milk with a bit of cassis in. I can't remember if it's cassis or grenadine, but like, you know, they're a childish thing for her. Not for me, but for her. Oh, it's got that gushu aftertaste. Long, tingly, physical, very physical, especially on the back sides of my tongue. It's causing a lot of tingle, a lot of this tingly juiciness. Like the saliva glands are really just like flooding my mouth with juiciness. Very, very physical. Picking up that gushu. Those white rabbits, those wafers, vanilla wafers, they're all there. So the smell of the wet and dry leaf are translating beautifully into the mouth. Wow, the physicality of the finish is a real star quality of this tea. And as I said, I do think that this is the oldest that we've sourced from. Ooh. Gonna look out for that. I think that's gonna that can only build as the leaf brews out more. It's sort of makes me wanna, I don't know, this sort of chewy quality to it. It's so physical. Ooh, making me burp as well. Physical in the stomach too. All right, darker liquor. Cheers, everybody. Ooh, digestive. This is physical, this tea. Oh, second infusion. Bright high notes coming through. Apricot jam. Sherbet candy. Love hearts. You know, those candies that are sort of compressed powder, you know. Cooling as well. We've got a very minty cooling quality in the mouth. I'm getting more herbs, dried thyme, mint, but still lots of that honey. So imagine lots of those herbal honeys, Mediterranean herbs, heather honey, mint, thyme, milky, those white rabbit candies, those sherbet candies, marzipans, a little bit of blueberry and cassis thrown in there, and this apricot jam coming through. Oh, full spectrum white tea hit in my mouth. Second infusion is banging. Oh, I could sip this all day. The physicality on it is there. I don't know about the body feel, like, you know, in terms of a tea drunkenness, but just in my mouth, it's got a rich physical feeling. Just tingly, juicy, cooling. It's sweet, the juiciness, but it's more minty cooling than sweet. Wow. Wow. You know, this is the thing. You take good terroir, you take old trees from that good terroir, it has got a character to it. A character. You could make raw pu'er, you could make black tea, you could make white tea, you could make any tea out of these leaves. You are gonna have a tea with character. This is just brimming with character. One of the things, actually, when you taste white teas, even from Yunnan and even from older trees, they will all taste pretty good in general. But what you're looking for is that je ne sais quoi. You're looking for that, a character in the trees, a character in the production that just sets it apart. And I remember we received this sample relatively early in the season, sort of, I don't know, late April probably. And I tasted it and I was blown away by it. But I was like, but I haven't tasted any other samples. And that always sort of makes me feel a bit edgy, like, but maybe there's a better one, you know, maybe there's a better one. And then we waited and waited, and I kept on calling this producer saying, please, 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 hold. And they're like, well, I'm not going to hold it forever for you. And I was like, I know, but just hold for a little bit. Don't sell it, please. We did taste others, and there were some great ones, really great ones that we would have selected, but nothing that beat out this original one. And thankfully, managed to managed to convince the producer not to let this one go, because I would have been devastated. I tell you that. Right, third infusion. Ooh, this is rising. Ooh, I'm feeling it. Yep. Floating a lotus. Color just as strong. You probably get about 10, 12 infusions out of this. You can do the old boiling trick at the end, which basically means take these leaves after 7, 8 infusions, maybe 10 infusions, chuck them in a pan, put in maybe a few 100 ml of water, bring it to the boil, turn it down, simmer it for about 15 minutes. You are going to get a medicinal, rich, smooth, but strong brew. Physicality is happening on this tea. Yeah, flavor profile stays consistent. Those candied, bright notes, sherbet candies, apricot jams, the warm milk and honey, the herbs, the mintiness stays consistent, but you wouldn't want it to change. It is glorious. Physicality in the mouth is rich, sweet, tingly, and cooling. I'm gonna roll through some infusions because I have a sneaky suspicion that the next time you see me, I'm gonna be quite tea lifted. All right, this is the 6th infusion that I'm brewing up, and I'm gonna stop after this one because this is a very strong tea. It's got a really, really physical feeling. So digestive wise, I feel like my stomach is digesting and moving, and it's like I'm belching a bit. It's got this really sort of rich, deep, cleansing sort of quality to it in the stomach. And it's got a very buzzy, light feeling. I feel that slight evaporation going on. A feeling which I love, but I know can get, because I'm drinking infusions in quick succession, so I'm gonna have to pause on this one, let it calm down, and then keep going throughout the day. One of the great things about Gong Fu brewing, of course, is you can just do that. Just leave it alone and just come back to it a few hours later. But it's definitely got, I wouldn't say a caffeinated quality. I would say it's got this, buzzy lightness to it. It's like buzzy, and then light, like you feel like you're sort of being lifted. I swear that was not, part of the reason why we called it a floating lotus, but it feels like I'm sort of lifting off the sofa here. Lovely body sensation, great. But like, I need to get on with my day. I can't just be sort of floating around. So I'm gonna have to stop after this one. Definitely giving a warm sensation, strong physical tea in the mouth, that aftertaste, that finish, long, cooling juiciness, and strong in the body as well. Taste remarkably consistent. In fact, more of the apricot jams, which is surprising, is coming through. But all of those notes, the minerality starts to remind me of like fresh alpine meadows, like springtime alpine meadows. Right, let's have a sniff of this empty Gongdao Bay. Sweet, slightly herbal. So I'm getting some cakey quality, so steamed sponge cakes, but drizzled with like a herbal syrup. Fig leaf syrup. So yeah, fig leaf syrup, and cake, and some of that pear. like a cooked down pear compote. Big tea. If you want that physical feeling, for me, at least at this session, so it's a real lifter. Gorgeous taste. Gushu material coming correct. The floating lotus, a worthy successor to the Gushu white or old tree white tea from Yunnan series. I hope that if you have picked up the previous ones that you're gonna love this one just as much as the others, and if you haven't, then it's time to jump in to some Yunnan whites. That's it, tea heads. Check out our other videos. See, I can't talk. Check out our other videos. Taste our teas wherever you are in the world by browsing mayleaf.com, and come visit us if you're ever in London. Other than that, I'm Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the potent stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.